Hello my friends, I hope you're having a lovely day, and in today's video I'm reviewing the Bowser's Fury mode of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I spent the weekend playing it, I wanted to savor it. I'm still not done, I haven't gotten all the cat shines. I've gotten like 61 or 62, but I've seen the final boss fight and all that good stuff, so I figured I'd do a review. Now, I don't think there's ever been a bad mainline Mario game, and I don't think I count Bowser's Fury as a mainline Mario game, but it plays and looks like a mainline Mario game, just a shorter experience. But some of you know that I really liked Super Mario Odyssey, but I prefer Galaxy and Galaxy 2, and I also preferred Super Mario 3D World. I liked Super Mario 3D World a great deal more than Super Mario Odyssey. And Bowser's Fury is like a mix of Super Mario 3D World mechanics with more of the open-ended aspects of Super Mario Odyssey. And it turns out that is exactly what I want, because I could not get enough of this. The whole time I was playing, all I kept thinking about was, man, I really don't want this to end. This is exactly what I want from a Mario game. For my personal taste in a Mario game, I love the whimsical designs of platforming sections and platforming challenges. Things that don't necessarily make sense. And in Odyssey, you have more locations that are, I don't want to say realistic, but more realistically themed than you got in Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario 3D World, which is more like classic style Mario designs, like something akin to Super Mario World, where it's just whimsical and colorful and fun and built for platforming fun. And in Odyssey, obviously, all those levels were built for platforming fun, but the levels used the themes, and they didn't have like set pieces that were simply there because they were fun to navigate. Like they fit in with the theme of the level. And Bowser's Fury just has a whole bunch of, it's like a playground for Mario, basically. It's just a whole bunch of things that don't make sense, whole bunch of like platforms suspended in the air and big structures that you climb up or around or go under or through, whatever. It's just literally like random objects thrown around that have some sort of loose color scheme or something to them. There's more traditional structures too, but just stuff created with the purpose of fun rather than adhering to a very specific theme. And that's really what I like. And that stuff is just so much fun in Bowser's Fury. Everything I explored, everything I jumped on or climbed up or whatever, I was so into it. All I could think about while I played was just how much fun that stuff is. I really can't express how many wow moments I had in this smaller experience. I was going to say tiny, but it's not tiny. You get more gameplay out of it than I thought you would, and like I said, I'm still not done. But, yeah, there's like so many sections where I was like, oh my god, this just feels so good. I had such a smile on my face. It's just pure platforming that Nintendo, I think, does better than anybody else. It's the whole purpose is just to have fun. It doesn't have to make any sort of sense. It doesn't have to fit into any kind of story. It's just, let's build this thing and it'll be fun to climb around it. And that's exactly what you do here. Just so many moments. And there are, again, loose themes. There's like a snowy theme and then like, I don't know, a traditional theme and a fire theme. And there's stuff like that, that you've seen in other Mario games. But they're all just backdrops for these platforming challenges that you take on, and they're a blast. They're just so good. I never wanted to stop exploring, and that's the other really cool part about it. It's all part of one big world that you travel, or islands, I guess they're calling it, and you can just hop on Plessy and ride Plessy to these other sections and check them out. You're not locked into one section, or you're not locked into one particular island. You can just go wherever you please. So if you see something off in a distance that you want to explore, go explore it. That's it. And that level of freedom mixed with the 3D movement, because in Super Mario 3D World, that's more of a mix of Super Mario 64 and Super Mario World. So you have some 3D movement, but the locations are very restricted in where you go. It's basically, left to right or front of the screen to back of the screen for most of it. And I'm not knocking the game for that. I think that's great. I know that Nintendo is trying to build a bridge between a 2D and a 3D game, so that makes perfect sense. But Bowser's Fury is different. It's much more of a Galaxy or an Odyssey, but with the sensibilities and designs that you find in Super Mario 3D World. And I love it. It's the perfect mix for me. I really can't think of... I loved the Galaxy games. I really did. They are my favorite Mario games. But this little Bowser's Fury experience is right up there with it. It blows my mind. It was a little disconcerting at first when it comes to Mario's moveset, because when I play a 3D Mario game, I'm expecting moves that you would see in, Super Mario 64 or Galaxy or Odyssey. So very much expanded, kicks and jumps, or kicks and punches and triple jumps and stuff like that. But that's not what you get in Bowser's Fury. You get what was in Super Mario 3D World expanded a little bit. So Mario doesn't have the range of moves that he normally has. And when you first start out, you're like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. If you played Super Mario 3D World and then went right into Bowser's Fury, then it would feel perfectly fine. But I played Super Mario 3D World all the years ago when it came out on the Wii U. So just at first I was like, oh, this is different than what I thought. But 15 minutes later, it was fine. It works perfectly fine. It's just not what I think Mario fans would be expecting from a 3D Mario. But it works perfectly great. And then when you throw in the power-ups, that adds in extra moves as well. So you get things like the propeller block to reach certain heights, and the cat suit where you can climb up and dive bomb on stuff. And then other power-ups too, fire flower, boomerang and all that. So all those filter in nicely to add different moves to Mario. And again, it works perfectly fine, and it feels really good. And anything that I thought in the first 15 minutes was gone when I played for a little bit, because it just felt natural. It felt good, and the levels are built around the movesets that you have, so you don't even need those extra things. I think it's really interesting to create a 3D Mario where Mario doesn't have as many moves as he normally does, because it takes a little bit of adjusting for the player. But then you get a different type of world built around that, and you get different types of experiences and challenges when it comes to platforming. So I actually really liked it. I thought I would miss it a lot based on my first 15 minutes with the game, but all those fears melted away. And there's obviously the part we have to talk about, the fury of Bowser. While you're playing, Bowser's going to go crazy and shoot lava beams at you and rain down lava bombs and all kinds of stuff like that. He does it at certain intervals while you're playing, so it'll be a nice sunny day, and then it'll start to get cloudy, and then it'll rain, and then Bowser will come in and cause some chaos for a bit. And you can send him right back if you have a cat shine to pick up. Or if you've collected enough cat shines, you can grab the, the Giga Bell, and turn into Giga Cat Mario. And you can actually go up to Bowser and fight him. You can pounce on him to hurt him, or you can pick up the things, the lava blocks that he's made, and throw them at him. And these are just little sections to give you something different to do, but also to open up the game to other islands. So after you defeat Bowser a few times as Giga Cat Mario, it'll open up new portions of the island. Eventually that ends because you go into the final battle, but you're going to see Fury Bowser quite a bit, and thankfully you're allowed to skip the cutscenes that are involved. You can just hit plus and skip right over them. It definitely breaks up gameplay, and it definitely breaks it up more than I would like. I wish the intervals between Bowser showing up were longer, just because I was having so much fun platforming and exploring that I was like, oh, this guy's here again, and I gotta do this. So sometimes I would leave a cat shine uncollected, so when Bowser showed up, I could just grab it and he would disappear and I could continue on. So I like the fights, and I like the idea of Giga Bowser, or Fury Bowser. I just think that they did them too often. What I do like about the battles are that they change a bit as you go on. Bowser gets some new moves, and then like the final battles with Bowser are really cool. The last boss battle, which I would love to talk about, but I don't want to spoil, it's just awesome. You feel really awesome. Nintendo, I feel like, has been really nailing the final Bowser boss battles in recent Mario games, and this is another one. It just makes you feel like a badass. Like you're playing and the game's asking you to do certain things, and it's going very quickly, and there's lots of action on screen. You're like, wow, I feel so cool doing this. Hopefully you guys feel the same way while you're doing it. Also, when Fury Bowser is out, depending on what you're doing, it can make some of the things you're trying to accomplish that much more exciting. It's almost like movie moments, depending on what you're doing. I had some really action-packed sections when Bowser showed up because I was riding Plessy, or I was climbing at the top of a very high tower. So, like I said, I think Bowser shows up too frequently, but he does create some really cool moments, and obviously he's creating new platforms and new things for you to do too. So it can play out really well. I was just, I don't want to say frustrated, but I was a little annoyed by having to send him back. If I could just like have the environment change and not have to deal with Bowser, that'd be great. That's that's the way I'd like them to do it, but or at least dial back the Bowser a bit. But yeah, it does make for some really cool moments, and again, that final boss battle is awesome. All in all, Bowser's Fury is what I want from a 3D Mario game. It is just ridiculously fun to play. The game looks great. The music is fantastic, which is to be expected. There's a handful of songs in here that are... Everything is great, but there's a handful of songs that are just amazingly good. I've already been listening to the soundtrack while I'm working because it's just that good. So many great songs. You wonder how Nintendo keeps coming up with amazing songs for all their first-party games after all these years, but they keep doing it, and there's so many good tunes in here, so that just makes the journey that much better. But overall, Bowser's Fury was fantastic. I am definitely going back in to get the rest of the shines because I just want to play more of it. There is not enough of the game. I want more. It leaves you wanting more, and that's exactly what you want from a game because you don't want it to end because you're having so much fun, and I don't want Bowser's Fury to end because I'm really enjoying it. So I'm excited to get back in and get that content, and then I'll be very depressed once I do because then the wait begins again for something new Mario related, and who knows how long that'll be. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Bowser's Fury. So thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. It's very much appreciated. Also, a big thanks to those of you who support me on Patreon. It helps me do videos like this, helps with the site, the podcast, social media, all that good stuff. If you want to learn more about the Patreon, which is just $1, you can check out a link in the description below. But as for today, that is it. I'll be back as soon as I have something interesting to show you. So until then, have a lovely day and a lovely evening, and I'll see you in a few short hours.